We switch our gears now to London's courtroom for the continuing trial of Diezani Alison-Madueke, Nigeria's former Minister of Petroleum Resources, who was once one of the most powerful figures in Africa's oil sector. Alison-Madueke now stands at the center of an international legal battle involving allegations of corruption, money laundering and the misuse of public funds. News Central's senior international correspondent Afua Hagan is in London and will bring us the very latest from the courts. Afua, many thanks for joining us. You've been at the court today. Talk to us. What's the latest with this case?
And we have been hearing from the defence this morning. Now, this is really centred around Alison-Madueke's shopping habits today. We have been hearing from a Mr. Taverner who works at Thomas Good. Now, to give you some context, Thomas Good is a luxury tableware store in Mayfair. So it sells things like tables, chairs, china, crystal, cutlery, all those types of things. And we've been hearing about Diezani Alison-Madueke's shopping habits in that store. Now, Mr. Taverner was going through different statements, some of the detailing, how much money was spent in those stores. Some quite astronomical figures there, into the thousands of pounds. One invoice that we saw was for £14,344, one for £19,533, one for £3,789. Now, what was interesting about these statements is that sometimes they were made out to the co-defendants that Mr. Aluko, sometimes made out to Miss Madueke. And this was all about trying to establish how she shopped when she was in these stores and who paid for the items that she was buying, the sideboards, the tables, the chairs. There was also the frequency of how many times she was at the Thomas Good store. She clearly had a very good relationship with them, shopping over a period of 2012 to 2013. We also heard that sometimes she paid the bills, sometimes some of her associates, people in her entourage, paid the bills. So really at the moment, what the defence is trying to do is establish the shopping habits of Miss Madueke, but most importantly, who paid for the items that she bought when she was in store, establishing whether that was her, establishing whether it was some of the co-defendants, to try and really figure out whether she was getting these kickbacks for promoting the business of those around her.
So one has to ask about, the state of or the stage of this proceedings. What's the prosecution trying to nail with all of this?
Now, the prosecution really is about joining the dots. So this is about putting it all together. So we have the statements from the store. We're going to have bank statements as well. We've got testimony from different people involved, whether that's sales clerks, like we've heard from Thomas Good, whether that's sales clerks at another store, whether that is the other defendants. It's all about putting this all together, about who moved where, about what money moved where, about who benefited, about what transactions were disguised. It's all about joining the dots at the moment and really building up this case.
Very quickly, before I let you go, what new evidence or testimony stood out to you most this week, and why is it significant to you?
I think what really stood out about what I've heard so far is the level of detail of which we have about Miss Madueke's shopping habits, about what she bought, when she bought it, how many times she was in the store, whether she called ahead, whether the salesperson called her. It's really about building up that picture of how much was spent and, most importantly, where that money is coming from.
And just lastly, let's look at the strength of or direction of the prosecution's case as the trial enters into its third week. Are we seeing a shift in the prosecution's case?
Yes, we are going to see a shift in the prosecution's case. This is about establishing scale and establishing the structure of what has gone on with Alison-Madueke and her co-defendants. Like I said, it's about joining the dots. So how big was the alleged fraud? How deep did it go? Who was involved in the amounts of money? Establishing scale and establishing structure is very important for the prosecution this week.
Afua, many thanks for the update. We appreciate you. Afua Hagan, there's our senior international correspondent and anchor from London courtrooms there as Alison-Madueke's case continues at the court.